Now, sometimes we want to figure out, we're going to use an inverse thing. So as a reminder, in your review, if we have sine of x equals 0.34, and the question is solve for x, then the way you do that is x is the inverse sine of 0.34. And you plug it into the calculator. Usually there's going to be a shift key or a second function thing of 0.34, which in this case is 19.87, or 88 actually, which is about 20 degrees. Okay, but let's say we had something like cosecant of x equals 2.4. I'm going to do that. I'm just going to do that. Nope. So then we know that cosecant is 1 over sine x, which equals 2.4. And what we could do is, a couple ways of doing this. You could bring the sine x over there and bring the 2.4 down there. That's very acceptable. You could also flip both sides of this. So you could take the reciprocal of both sides. So we take the reciprocal of the left, and we're going to get sine x over 1 equals 1 over 2.4. So sine x equals 1 over 2.4, which means that x is the inverse sine of 1 over 2.4. And the inverse sine of 1 divided by 2.4 is 24.6 degrees. So just have a couple more examples of that. So let's say, for example, let's change the color. I didn't like the brown. Let's say the cotangent of theta was equal to 0.8. Or we could say that this secant of theta was equal to 2.1. Okay, so if the cotangent of theta equals 0.8, 1 over tangent equals 0.8. So tangent of theta is 1 over 0.8. So theta is the inverse tangent of 0.8. Inverse tangent of 0.8. And I got 38.7 degrees. Secant is the reciprocal of cosine, so secant is the same thing as 1 over cosine, which means that cosine is 1 over 2.1, and theta equals the inverse cos of, I made a mistake, didn't I? What's the mistake I made in the previous question? So the inverse cos of 1 divided by 2.1. So that's going to be 61.6 degrees. The mistake is that over here, it's 1 over 0.8, and then somehow I obliterated that. It should be the inverse tangent of 1 over 0.8. So the inverse tangent of 1 divided by 0.8, and that's going to be 51.3. So it's actually not that. This one should be 51.3 degrees. Interestingly, the tangent and cotangent of something would always add up to 90. And there we go.